Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. This week I have a lot of shows to talk about. I've been kind of slacking a little bit with, having the guests and whatnot. I had Kyle on last week, and a couple weeks ago I had Mathian on, and I recorded one with Ryan Wolf that'll be out here pretty soon. And I have a lot of shows to talk about. 2 weekends ago I played Cruisin's in Peoria. Then I played at the Tap in Indianapolis. The next weekend I played at Kilkenny's Pub, which I hadn't been there in a while, over in Davenport, Iowa. Then I played at the First and Third Boutique in Petersburg. I had a studio session, kind of live video style, live performance video recording on that Sunday in Utica at Mattioda Media. I did some recording the Monday after, they had a busy weekend. I picked up a show Wednesday, which, I really needed. So I was really worked out on that front. The Black Wednesday before Thanksgiving at Poor Brothers in Peoria. And then, so that's all the shows so far this weekend. I have, which I'm about ready to leave for, the Montrose Saloon in Chicago, which I haven't played up in Chicago in quite some time. So that should be quite the adventure. And then tomorrow night, I have two things. I'm doing Kyle Yep's Pawn Shop series in the morning. And then that night, I'm over at Lock 12 Music in Bellevue, Iowa. So it's been a crazy week. But anyway, let's get into the shows. Cruisin's. Cruisin's was a pretty standard show. It's inside. I got to play on the nice stage. It's just like a loud room. So I brought extra stuff, and I felt like I was loud enough. I sounded pretty good, but my ears just rang for like a long time, and it got really in my head about my hearing and stuff. So I was like, I need to get back to using the in-ears because, I have to go through this phase of doing it. And I didn't really prepare as much as I did for the last live video shoot I did for the one coming the following Sunday. And I was like, I should use my in-ears again for that. So the whole next week I practiced with in-ears, and I was obsessed about it and had everything set up, and it was kind of a pain. I don't have all the same gear either, so it made it a little bit tougher, but I digress. I don't know. The Cruisin' show was just every time I play there, I kind of feel like people are pretty indifferent to me playing. They almost would just as well do the jukebox. You get a few tables that are kind of into it, and that kind of makes your night, but it's a 3-hour set, so it's those people kind of come and go, and mostly it's just a really loud room. But thankful to have a place in Peoria that continues to have me back, and it's a good it's a good show to use to get ready for other shows. I try to do my best. I got some live stream stuff out of it that I'll be able to post. I don't feel like I played my best that night. If I'm being 100% honest. Not my worst show, but definitely not my best show. I kind of clicked in the last hour, really. I kind of clicked in, and I feel like I felt pretty decent. And then, then I played Saturday at the Tap Indy, which is Indianapolis. 3-hour drive, lose an hour on the way there. Makes for a long day. It was a different spot. I played at the Tap Bloomington a few weeks back, so wasn't too different. It's kind of a little nicer place. It was a little classier. I brought a vocal monitor, which was nice. Something I didn't do the time before, because they kind of run the sound in a weird way. They have it all, I think it's called what's that brand? Behringer X18. And it's all tablet based. And then you set your sound for your monitor up in the front. And then they kind of adjust it throughout the night and how loud they want it. It was really high up, very IBC, like I mentioned in the last one, but this one was even higher up, and it kind of blocked the view of my foot drums. So the people way down at the bottom probably didn't even know what I was doing on the foot drum front. but I did it anyway, and I felt like it went okay. I felt pretty good about some of the stuff. Did a live stream. It's just always a little uncomfortable because, it's not my normal sound setup, so it just felt a little weird. Uh, like I said, I was very, very happy I brought the vocal monitor, because the time before that at the Bloomington one, I just felt a little off all night. So I was really glad to have a little bit of extra comfort, even though it wasn't, still kind of weird. I don't know. Just a weird vibe in general, but some tables that were really into it. Although I will say that they couldn't really get to my tip jar in any way. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun night. I felt pretty into it. I felt like the whole second half of my set was pretty solid, and I played some songs that I hadn't played in a while that I felt pretty confident on, and wasn't extremely busy. By the time I was done, it was pretty thin, but that was kind of like that at the Bloomington Tap as well. So that was, pretty straightforward. And then, I spent like the whole next week just trying to prepare for the live video shoot the next Sunday. And I was practicing with those in-ears, and I don't know, everything just felt kind of awkward and funny, and I didn't quite feel right. And then I played the show in Davenport, Iowa, and I tried to use the in-ears, and it was honestly kind of a disaster. I just felt like one of my worst shows in a really long time. I recorded some of it and watched it back later in the hopes that it wasn't as bad as I thought, and it was pretty not good. I don't know. I mean, there were people who came up and said nice things and complimented me and said that they, next time I was there, they would try to make it again, but it was a rough one. And I kept, I took my in-ears out some of the time. It just was never comfortable, and I don't know, I just sang a lot of iffy notes throughout the night that really kind of threw me off my game. Couldn't really get comfortable. It's always a hard room anyway. It's hard to, unless you're playing like super pop covers. I got a lot of requests for, I always forget his name. It's Zach Brown Band, Luke Bryant. They're country guys, but it's a hybrid name. It's Zach Bryan. It kind of has like a Tyler Childers vibe. I've listened to some of his stuff because I had a couple requests from a while back, and he has some good stuff. There's a couple of his songs I really like, so I was thinking, maybe I would try to eventually learn one or two. And but the night at Davenport, it was like I think I had 5 different people come up and ask if I knew any, so I guess he's like, the big new up and comer guy, because it seemed like so many people liked him. And anyway, so went pretty not good. The next day was just acoustic show, which I haven't played in a while, at this place called First and Third Boutique in Petersburg, kind of a small town, reminding me of Pontiac quite a bit, and kind of south, I think, and maybe Champaign-ish area, maybe a little more southeast, maybe in between Champaign and St. Louis, maybe somewhere. I don't know. I just follow my map on the phone a lot. But anyhow, it was up 3 flights of stairs, but I didn't have to bring as much stuff because they had a Bose system. I kind of tried something weird at the beginning where I tried to run my vocals in stereo through it since I have the vocal pedals. It wasn't a good call, but it was a pretty fun night. I feel like I had a good time. It had been a long time since I've just played with just me on acoustic guitar. A little uncomfortable in that same sense, but it almost was like, should I, because the video shoot was the next day, I was like, should I just do acoustic? I didn't use in-ears. Felt, significantly more confident. And yeah, it was a fun show. I mean, it wasn't super busy by any means, but it was definitely a good time, and the people there seemed to dig it, even though they were few. They were mighty, I suppose. And anyway, so yeah, I just got an email from the other band that's supposed to play with me tonight up in Chicago, and they canceled. So I don't know, maybe I'll just play the whole time. see what happens. But anyway, maybe I'll hit up Mathian. I'm sure he won't do it, but that would be wild. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, and so the video shoot, I can't say it ever. Mattioda Media. It's fun, kind of rolls off the tongue if you do it right. Luke was the guy's name. I'd reached out to him, sent him some of my stuff, and he said that he was, into doing it. Kind of penciled me in, and then confirmed, a couple weeks before. And so I was nervous. I don't think he expected me to do well. I'd asked him if he wanted me to do the one-man band, and I think it was a little more intense than he thought. But I think most of the time, most people that had done it before was just like he already had a mic set up that they used, and just an instrument cable, and I had the pedal board with my vocal pedal, with my foot drums, and then we did it kind of a weird way where there were no studio monitors. So essentially I was playing acoustically with everything mic'd and plugged in, which, but I was still singing into my mic, so it felt a little awkward that way, but it almost felt comfortable in some way. So I'm very interested to see how those turned out. So I did, I think, 8 songs. He ends up and picks 5 that he, does the master audio, master video edits on and posts them. His studio looks really cool, and one of the nicest guys I think I've met ever, honestly. And just a super interesting guy, really into it, just, trying for the best sound. And I was really happy to get that opportunity, and very excited to have some new content to post. Hopefully, like I said, I did some new songs that I was a little nervous. I was very nervous about the whole thing, honestly, but it was, I think, I probably got 3 that I think turned out pretty solidly. And he was really laid back and cool, though. The last live video thing was the TV performance, and, there were no double takes or, it was just, so I asked him right away, like, what he thought about that, because I figured that would kind of adjust my set list to an extent if I was going to, have to just nail them all in the first take, because I have the new song that I've been working on in the studio called Will Magic Find Me, and I really wanted that to turn out nicely, because it looks so nice in that studio, and I thought it would be really cool to have a live take. Now, I won't say it went perfect, but it went decently. Kind of flubbed a chord, and the foot drums, I don't really have a plan when I start that one on the foot drums, so it's just kind of whatever happens. Because, the actual recording is mainly just acoustic. There's one part that has a little bit extra at the end, but it's just acoustic vocal for like the whole song, so it's definitely different with the foot drums, and foot drums were loud, and with no monitors and stuff. I don't know. It was like I said, it was a little weird. One of the songs that I wasn't worried about that I played was Syrup, and I did end up and have to restart that one. Now, I don't think I would have if I wouldn't have known that, I would have just played through my mistake. If I would have known that, if I wouldn't have known that I could redo it. So then I started it again, the second time. And so that was, I don't like that. It's kind of embarrassing, honestly. But I don't know. It was what it was, and I think that I probably got some pretty good takes out of a few of the songs. I'm hoping, all 5 of them sound decent. I'm hoping there's like 3 really solid, strong ones. Yeah, I don't know. So that was Sunday, and then I picked up the Wednesday show, was the last one at Poor Brothers in Peoria, which, it's been a busy week, but not a very financially beneficial. Like the live videos are great, but not super. And then I got this weekend, which was all not great on that front either. My one tomorrow is pretty decent, but the pawn shop series obviously will just be great content, and ultimately stress me out and keep me busy. But I'm excited about it, but no financial gain. And the one tonight up in Chicago, I mean, kinda, we'll just see what happens. It'd be nice to make a little bit of money on it, but I doubt I will. So, that being said, that Wednesday show, Black Wednesday, really kind of was a good hookup. Kind of just last minute worked out great. It was a fun show. It wasn't super busy. Indoor at Poor Brothers always a rough go, but I feel like it sounded pretty solid all night, and I got to play a lot of originals at the end, and yeah, so that was pretty much it. Oh, I forgot to talk about the recording. Uh, I did a recording. I've been working on Digital Soul with Jeff. At his home studio, that Jeff Easton, the one who, the producer that, or the engineer that did Design to Shine, and so I spent like the whole day. We got Doug in there to do some bass. Sorry, I'm messaging Mathian right now. He didn't really want to do the show tonight, I guess. But at least he got back to me. That was nice of him. But I don't really. It's so last minute. I don't even know who I would. I don't know like anybody in the city. I was even very hesitant to even do this show. I'll message him in a minute. I don't know why I'm getting so distracted by that right now. But anyway, so spent like the whole day. Probably did like 6 hours, 7 hours straight. And we got all the bass. I redid the acoustic, redid the vocals. Those are sounding pretty tight. We still need to kind of work on the drums a bit and add a couple things in here and there. Lo's gonna sing some backups on it. So I mean, it's got, still miles to go. I think hopefully just one more session of kind of tightening up what we recorded last time, getting, a better mix on everything, and then adding, those last few touches instrumentally, and then maybe one more session of mixing and mastering, and so that'll be pretty much done. But we worked hard on it, and I'm excited about that one. It's a weird one, it doesn't really sound like my other stuff, so, which I think is ultimately why Jeff picked it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what's been going on with me. I got, like I keep saying, the show at Montrose Saloon in Chicago tonight. Tomorrow, I got the Pawn Shop series early with Kyle Yap, so I'm excited about that. Super nice of him to give me that opportunity. And then Saturday night, I've got a 3-hour drive over to Bellevue and a 4-hour set up there, and then 3 hours back. So it'll be pretty eventful. I'll be, when Sunday gets here, it'll be kind of a, when Mathian was on, he was talking about, the hitting that last chord of a set, and just, getting that feeling of relief, after tomorrow night when I hit that, I'll be like, those were some mountains I climbed and I was successful, but not there yet. Kind of still in the height of all of it. So anyway, as always, I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and I will talk to you next time. All right, have a good one. Bye.